Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Heated exchange at St. James Municipal Corporation Thursday. Local government minister urges St. Elizabeth to boost hurricane preparedness. And later in sports, West Indies women win ICC World Cup qualifier against Ireland. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. The St. James Municipal Corporation meeting on Thursday turned into a heated exchange. It follows the removal of political signs for at least 2 members of the People's National Party by the corporation due to a lack of approval.
The point of order is that I have moved for the adjournment of the meeting.
You cannot do that! You cannot do that!
Mayor can't entertain that either. You cannot entertain that either, Mr. Mayor.
All right, so this is the point of order. The point of order is that you are raising a matter that was dealt with at a committee meeting. So you are out of order in terms of the meeting structure to bring it back here. We have ratified the minutes of the meeting. Earlier in the discussion, in this meeting, you all said aye to ratify and accept all the recommendations and minutes of the previous meeting. So the point of order is you can't raise it again under new matters here.
Mayor Richard Vernon insists the signs were not limited to political billboards, and according to the law, the corporation is within its right to carry out the removal.
My first pronouncement pertaining to signs was not in respect of a limitation to political signs, but that of all signs that are in contravention to the regulation, including expired party signs, event signs. And the political signs, we are of the view, as I mentioned earlier, that they are outside of the pending election period.
With the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season less than 2 months away, local government minister Desmond McKenzie is urging the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation to boost disaster preparedness efforts. This as the parish continues to recover from Hurricane Beryl's impact. He stressed the need for a proactive approach to safeguard communities.
Also want to remind you that hurricane is not the only concerns that we have. Earthquake has been a main feature over the last year and a half. We have had more felt shakes in this country than we have ever had before. And in our disaster preparations, I am hoping that we will take on board all aspects of disaster preparedness.
The minister also said for the first time since its creation, funds have been withdrawn from the National Disaster Fund to support local recovery efforts. After Hurricane Beryl, 3 municipal corporations submitted requests for assistance.
Out of the disaster fund, receive, based on the submission for the number of roads, $100 million to effect repairs to the roads that were submitted under the disaster fund.
Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck is of the view that the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica should operate as an independent entity. This is the latest in the ongoing dispute over who should represent justices of the peace. Currently, the LMAJ and the Manchester Justice of the Peace Association are both claiming to represent the JPs.
Lay magistrates are JPs. You're part of the Justice of the Peace Association in every parish. Work with the custodies. the custodies will be the one who decide where JPs, whether they serve in the lay magistrates court, in the drug court, in the children's court, in the spirit license. But I heard him, unfortunately, in spite of the many discussions I've had with him, saying there's no need for two organizations to represent JPs. And that as far as he's concerned, the Lay Magistrate Association of Jamaica is a national body. It will represent JPs. It won't work.
It's why Mr. Chuck has reiterated his stance.
Not many JPs want to be lay magistrates. But those who have been trained, who want to serve in the court, we give them specialized training so they can serve in the court, but they go to the court and serve in the courts, whether it is in the spirit license, whether in the lay magistrates court, whether it's in the children's court or the drug court. But you serve as a GP.
Mayor of Port Murray Fitzroy Wilson is raising concerns about a 48-hour curfew imposed in the parish since Wednesday. The curfew will remain in effect until 6 this evening. The areas affected include sections of Tower Isle, Retreat and Charlestown.
I don't know why communities like those would be under curfew, and the police would have said, based on the reason given in that post that I saw on the social media, it is as a result of the death or the murder of the gentleman in Balmoral, and they fear reprisal. I don't understand if the person that died is from the area and the reprisal is going to come back from the same community. I don't understand.
Mayor Wilson is hoping residents are not being affected by the curfew.
Whilst it is that we must support our security forces and in their bid to curtail the crime situation in our parish, but at the same time we must look at the livelihood and the safety of the business community and viability as well. So persons residing in that area, please note the hours of that curfew, as I was told.
Meanwhile, Mayor Wilson described the death of 4 people in Saturday's crash on the Rio Nuevo main road in St. Mary as unfortunate. Police say speeding and driver error contributed to the crash. Mayor Wilson says what made the tragedy even harder was that most of the victims were young people. The families have since been getting counseling.
And extend heartfelt sympathy and condolence to the families in my division, Boscobel, Stuarton, that would have lost their loved ones in that tragic motor vehicle accident last week, Saturday. All 4 who were passengers in that vehicle have succumbed to the effects of that accident. And the community is in grief, and I would just want for us to keep them in our prayers.
Police in Clarendon are yet to identify a body which was discovered along Jackson Street in the vicinity of the Glenmore High School this week. TVJ News understands that the body was wrapped in a tarpaulin. The police say the body appears to be that of a female. Investigations continue. Custos of Westmoreland, Reverend Hartley Perrin, is calling for changes to the current police uniform. The Custos cited issues with both the design and functionality. Details in this report.
The standard uniform for the Jamaica Constabulary Force is navy blue with rank identified through shoulder straps and sleeve insignia. Certain specialized units like the Homicide Squad, Fingerprint Bureau, and Flying Squad have distinct uniforms of their own. But according to Custis of Westmoreland, Reverend Hartley Perrin, he is concerned that the uniforms make it difficult to distinguish between ranks. He noted that the current design lacks clear indicators which can create confusion in various interactions.
Usually when a motorist or some other civilian comes along and sees the police and they have a discrepancy, they are able to identify a senior officer on spot. A man in uniform, khaki uniform, is easily identified and can be brought into any kind of discussion or altercation that is there with the motorist or with the civilian and the police.
In addition to rank identification, the Custis also took issue with the color of the uniforms, suggesting that they're not appropriate for tropical climate.
Even today I was driving and I saw a police stopping persons. You could hardly see them until you almost run them over. And we cannot wait until that happens before we come to the realization that that dark uniform on dark people, if with these people in America wear this color, it's fine because most of them are white. But I, for one, would have a problem wearing that uniform because you could not tell me different from the uniform. That is part of the problem I have.
The Custis is urging the authorities to take a closer look at the current dress standards.
So one of the things I would want to see change is a way of showing to the public what is a distinctive feature in terms of the ranks. Who is the corporal? Who is the sergeant? Who is the inspector? Who is the superintendent? Who is the senior superintendent? Who is the commissioner? So that we can know in the case of a situation who is who. Not to mention the color that I still have a problem with. Hard to see them even in the day.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
A broken pipe in Yala St. Thomas has left scores of residents without water. Residents are speculating that the pipe was damaged during the ongoing road construction.
Look there. A fish you are going to raise. The little drain there so can facilitate the water because the drain under the wrong place. And yes, so if you cut going at the big drain.
Out of water 2 months now. Over 2 months. And we think them have dry down everything, all the banana tree and the plant tree, them have broke down and fall on the ground. Me have a farmer next door away, I suffer down right down, so we can't plant, we can't do nothing. Because we don't have no water. And whenever if we should go a water bill, then take out down to the meter for the price. That means to say we have to pay. And we have to pay and we can't get no water. So me I tell National Irrigation, put back the water.
When contacted, the National Water Commission said its crews are investigating the issue, and in the interim, water will be trucked to the affected communities. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. 2 families in Danvers, St. Thomas received new homes Wednesday. This was done under the Rural Development Program. The homes are fully furnished and were completed at a cost of over 30 million Jamaican dollars. The move marked the end of an almost 3-year wait for siblings Shamari and Shani McQueen. Their home was destroyed by fire in 2022.
I can speak about fire because in my constituency I have one almost every week. So I know what fire is, the effects that it have on families. And at the opening of the fire station, I gave a commitment publicly that we would respond to the needs and we would provide the assistance that is required to get the families back on their feet.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
At Acting CEO of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, Harold Davis, says more capital is needed to build incubators for manufacturers in the MSME sector in Western Jamaica because all of its incubators are located in Kingston. Mr. Davis notes that the cost for a standalone incubator is $25 million, but it could be much more if a plant is built to house it. He says the corporation currently has 4 incubators. Further afield, China has raised import taxes on U.S. goods to 125% as a trade war with the U.S. over Donald Trump's global tariffs escalates. Beijing faces a 145 levy on some of its goods imported to the U.S. President Xi Jinping has called on the EU to join China in opposing bullying from the U.S., saying there are no winners in a tariff war. And that's it for Business Minute. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In regional news, economists are warning that newly announced U.S. tariffs could spark renewed economic trouble for Barbados. There's growing concern that the tourism sector, key to the island's post-COVID recovery, may take a hit, while inflation could surge, worsening the already steep cost of living. Tensions are rising as the U.S. trade measures, particularly those aimed at major partners like China, threaten to ripple across Caribbean economies. Experts note that American visitors have been central to the rebound of Barbados' tourism industry, a momentum that now faces serious risk. On the international scene, many people in the U.S. have ties to the more than 200 people who died in the Dominican Republic when a nightclub's roof collapsed. Some of them in the town of Lawrence, Massachusetts, held a vigil on Thursday. More than half the residents have some kind of connection to someone in the Spanish-speaking Caribbean nation. It's not known what caused the roof to collapse at the Jet Set nightclub on Tuesday morning. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Krista Campbell.
Thank you, Krista. We take another break. Sports is next.